What is up everyone, welcome back to another video. Game week 36 has just ended. Game week 37 is a midweek and the season ends next weekend on Sunday. So let's get into that all important captaincy, transfers and team selection. As we always do, let's start off by having a look back at my previous game week, so how I got on in game week 36. So I made two transfers which I knew I was going to do. I sold Phillips of Liverpool and Vardy. Now Vardy was in order to put out an extra player and Phillips with only 2 points was a transfer well made. In their place, I bought Trent and Antonio. Now Trent came in for Phillips and he did pick up an assist and bonus point, which makes the -4 pay off straight away. So going into the final two game weeks of the season, I have Trent over Phillips, which is what I wanted. Antonio came into my team and did blank against Brighton. However, two good game weeks still to go for him this season. So let's hope that he can get a few more points to return. And Vardy did score 0, so it is still a transfer that I'm happy I made. Looking at how this affected my team in game week 36, so I did take a -4. Just before we get on, I apologise if my voice is a bit croaky. I was at the FA Cup final at Wembley yesterday, so that is why a lot of shouting, particularly when Ben Chilwell's goal went in and then got ruled out. So apologies in advance if I am a bit sore. So in goal, we started off with Ederson. Now, for some reason, Pep decided to rotate his goalkeepers and Carson came in, scoring 6, including saving a penalty, whilst I was left with Ederson scoring 0. Not a good start to the game week on Friday night. However, in the defence, the early kickoff on Saturday morning, Dallas did return me 6 points, which I was very happy with. A clean sheet, he could have had some attacking returns, but I know what he's capable of going into the final two game weeks of the season, so 6 points from Dallas, I am happy with that. Next up, a bit of a disappointment in my defence. So Soufal returned just 2 points and Konsa returned just 1. Not much to write home about. The West Ham clean sheet was there for most of the game, however did get wiped out by that Danny Welbeck goal. And Aston Villa just don't look the same team defensively, having conceded 3 goals to Crystal Palace this week. The final defender in my team is Trent, who completes my Liverpool triple up that I have in my team. Trent with a 6-pointer, as I said, an assist and a bonus point. Very happy that I brought him in. Into the midfield, Jota with a 0. Now it seems that Jota is injured and will be out for the remainder of the season. So we will get into my replacements and who you guys should be thinking about bringing in if you do own Jota later in the video. Salah was my captaincy for game week 36. I was happy enough with his return. 10 points doubled to 20 was really good and my highest scoring player this game week, so I got the captaincy right for once. Very happy with that. Next up, we add my double Tottenham assets with Son scoring just 3 with a clean sheet point and Kane picking up 1 goal as well as some bonus points being my vice captain. Both of them are very highly owned. I would have liked to have seen something more from Son. However, 2 good fixtures to end the season, so let's hope that I can get something from him, although he does look very tired and in need of a little bit of a lie down. Finally, we add the double West Ham attack with Lingard and Antonio to add on to Soufal. Now, a blank from all 3 of my West Ham assets was a bit of a summary of my game week. Not very pleased with that against Brighton, which was a good fixture on paper. Let's hope that they can pick up something in the final 2 game weeks of the season. On my bench, I did have Forster, so not only did Ederson lose his place, Southampton decided to rotate their keepers as well, so Forster got dropped for McCarthy, so I was left with only 10 players with no playing keeper this week. However, luckily for me, I did have Saiss on my bench, so he was able to come in for Jota this week, who did score 0, having picked up an injury. Saiss did only score 1, however it's still better than no points. So Iheanacho and Smith Rowe both didn't have a fixture this week as they were part of the blank game week. So after those auto subs where Saiss comes in for Jota, I scored 51 points overall with a -4, moving me up to 47 points overall. This gave me an overall score so far this season of 2,396 and giving me a game week rank of 2.8 million. This is a very middling game week rank, happy enough with it as I'm just trying to stay in the top 10k, and this did mean that I did see a small red arrow of 5.5k down to 6.5k. Now if I hadn't have taken the hit or the -4 hadn't been included and I had just scored 51, I would have been on a green arrow. So happy enough with this game week, 2 game weeks left. It's going to be close, but I'm hoping I can stay in that top 10k. Let me know how you got on in game week 36, a green arrow or a red arrow, but that's how I got on. Now we move on and have a look at some potential transfers for the upcoming Game Week 37. So if we start by having a look at some potential transfers out from my team. The first one I'm considering is Iheanacho. Now, I don't think it's really a necessity for me to transfer Iheanacho out of my team. However, two difficult fixtures left with Chelsea and Tottenham. I do think there are forwards that have the potential to outscore Iheanacho for the remainder of the season. However, I do have the injured Diogo Jota in my team, and it's much more likely that I use my free transfer on replacing Jota and I just play Iheanacho this week and either replace him next week or just go the final 2 game weeks with him in my team, given how much of a goal threat he has been for Leicester in recent weeks. So Iheanacho, a potential transfer out. However, I think my focus will be moving Diogo Jota out, as it seems like he won't play again this season. In terms of the players that I'm potentially bringing in, let's have a quick discussion at some of those midfielders that could be my Diogo Jota replacements. Just before we do that, if I was to bring in a forward, I do think Danny Ings for me is the one that I'd be bringing in for Iheanacho. We know what he can do when he's on form. There is just a bit of a concern about his fitness, which is also a consideration, which is why I'll probably keep Iheanacho for the remainder of the season. In terms of those midfielders, the first one up is Rafinha. He's just come back from injury, which is making him a really nice differential. He's one of the most creative players in that Leeds team, who have 2 really nice fixtures left this season, including playing at home at Ellen Road, the Leeds Stadium, for the first time in the Premier League for 15 years in front of fans. So I really think there'll be a lot of motivation in Game Week 38 for them to get some returns, which is part of the reason I really like Rafinha. Next up is Mahrez. Now, he didn't play on Friday night, which a lot of people did expect him to do, so I actually think that makes him a really nice option for the final 2 games of the season, where I expect him to get quite good minutes. He has been one of Man City's main goal threats when he is on the pitch. They have 2 nice fixtures left, so he is another option that I am considering. Next up is Joe Willock. Now, he is much cheaper and it would allow me to do maybe a really exciting transfer on the final day. For example, moving Iheanacho to Sergio Aguero for his final game for Manchester City. At just 4.7 million, Willock is scoring goals whenever he gets on the pitch. He has an average of 1 goal per appearance over the past 6 game weeks, which is just incredible. 4.7 million, they have some nice fixtures to end the season. He is definitely a player I'm considering. However, the final player on my team sheet is Greenwood. Now, Greenwood has Fulham and Wolves to end the season. Manchester United seem in good form, will be wanting to make sure they're playing well ahead of the Europa League final, which takes place just 4 days after the final game of the season. And Greenwood's had a nice rest, having not played in Game Week 37, and he is on really good form. However, there is a bit of a worry about whether he will start both Game Week 37 and Game Week 38, given how closely that Europa League final falls after the final day of the season. So just to summarise those transfers, I'm considering transferring out Iheanacho for Danny Ings. However, given the injuries that Ings has had and the form that Iheanacho has been in, I think it's unlikely that I make that transfer. The transfer that I am focusing on is replacing Diogo Jota, who is injured and likely to be out for the rest of the season, with probably one of the 4 midfielders there. However, it could be someone else, but Jota will be leaving my team for a player that I think has the potential to do really well over the final 2 game weeks. The 4 midfielders I'm currently considering are Rafinha of Leeds, Mahrez, Joe Willock and Mason Greenwood. So with those potential transfers in mind, let's have a quick look at how my team could line up for Game Week 37. In terms of my transfers, I do plan on selling Jota this week and not rolling my transfer, and in his place I do plan on bringing Mason Greenwood. I know that there is a risk that he doesn't play both games. However, given the ownership of some of those other Manchester United assets like Luke Shaw, like Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford, I do think having a Manchester United player in my team, given that I just want to hold on to the top 10k, is probably the safest way to go. So at the moment, Jota will be leaving my team for Mason Greenwood. In terms of how my team lines up, we do start again with Ederson in goal. He does have Brighton this week, and I do expect him to go back into the starting lineup as City start to ramp up their preparations for the Champions League final. There's always a good chance for a clean sheet from any Manchester City defender if they do start, so let's hope that Ederson can get one of those. Into the defence, we start off with Dallas with Southampton away and Soufal with West Brom away. 2 good enough fixtures against teams that aren't free scoring at the moment, and 2 defenders that can definitely add attacking threat on top of that. So I'm hoping for some returns, both from a clean sheet potential, but also some attacking returns from both Dallas and Soufal in game week 37. Next up, we add my Liverpool duo. It was a Liverpool trio until I plan on selling Diogo Jota due to his injury, so I am left with just Trent and Salah away at Burnley in game week 37. This is a good fixture, however Burnley have been much improved in recent weeks, especially at home, so going away to them will be a difficult fixture. However, Liverpool do have a lot of motivation knowing that they do need to win every remaining fixture if they do want a chance of getting into the Champions League spot, so I do still expect Salah and Trent to perform well and get some returns in this match. Next up, we add new signing Mason Greenwood, who has a good fixture now at home to Fulham. This will be the first fixture with fans in the stadium for Manchester United and the only one left this season, so I expect them to want to put on a good show, score plenty of goals and get well prepared for that Europa League final in just a week's time. Next up, we have Iheanacho, who I do plan on keeping. He does have Chelsea away, but his ownership is very high. Leicester have been scoring and they did pick up the win in the FA Cup final at the weekend, much to my own sadness. However, I do think there's a chance that Leicester do score in this game, so let's see what Iheanacho can perform with. Next up, and almost finally, we add my double Tottenham attack with Son and Kane both playing at home to Aston Villa in game week 37. Aston Villa have been conceding a lot of chances, including conceding 3 goals to Crystal Palace in game week 36. I think this means that there's a really good chance for both Kane and Son to get some returns this game week, so let's hope they can do so and boost me up the rankings. Finally, we add double West Ham attack onto my already selected Soufal in defence. Lingard and Antonio both blanked in game week 36, however there were chances for points for both of them. Let's hope that the new sort of more expansive West Brom, now that they have had relegation confirmed, they are attacking a bit more. Let's hope this allows for a little bit of room for both Lingard and Antonio to get some points as they are fighting for those Europa League positions still. On my bench, I am leaving Forster, Smith Rowe, Konza and Saiss. Now, the only real decision that I have here is Smith Rowe, who does seem to be in amongst the returns recently, getting a couple of goals in the most recent game weeks, and he has a nice fixture against Newcastle in game week 37. There is a chance that I start him over Iheanacho, however at the moment I don't think that's likely and I plan on going with him as my first sub in case anyone doesn't play. Finally, and most importantly, my captain for the game week. So at the moment, my vice captain is on Mason Greenwood. I think it's a really nice fixture. I think being at home in front of fans will be a big motivation for that Manchester United team. And Greenwood and the other Manchester United players have had a bit of time off, including Greenwood not starting against Liverpool in the final game of game week 35. So he is well rested going into that Fulham fixture, so I do expect him to do well. However, he is only my vice captain and my captain again is on Mohamed Salah. I just think Liverpool have so much to play for. They're playing for the Champions League, Salah's playing for the Golden Boot. It is a good fixture still, even though Burnley can be difficult defensively. If Pope is still out for Burnley as well, it does increase Salah's chances of return, so Salah is my captain for game week 37 and that is how I line up. That's all we've got time for. If you have any questions about your team for game week 37 or the final game week 38, drop them in the comments down below and I will make sure to answer them ahead of the game week 37 deadline. If you have enjoyed what you've seen this game week, what you've seen before, the live streams and videos, now that the season is coming to the end, it would be much appreciated if you could hit that like button and most importantly subscribe to the channel. There'll be plenty more next season in the pre-season and during the season to help you get the best rank you possibly can. So do subscribe now, turn on notifications so you don't forget at the beginning of next season. Thank you all for watching, good luck in game week 37 and I will see you all next time.